Welcome to Merryfield's Gardening Advisor, brought to you by the experts at Merryfield Garden Center. Join us as we discover beautiful plants, new trends, and exciting ideas for your landscape. So let's get growing together. Merryfield's Gardening Advisor, bringing out the best in your garden.
Good morning, everyone. We're so glad you could join us here today on Merryfield's Gardening Advisor. I'm your host, Debbie Warhurst-Kapp, and along with me today is landscape design specialist extraordinaire, Renetta Holt.
Hi, good to see you.
So glad you could be here this morning.
It's always good to be here.
Well, we have a great show for you today because, you know, Thanksgiving is coming up this week. We're transitioning into the holiday season. We've got decorating, but there's yard cleanup to do. But we can combine the two.
Lots of stuff to do. That's what we're going to talk about today is combining cleaning up your outside, doing a little trimming, and how you can bring it in and spruce up your house for the holidays.
Both inside and out. So we've got lots to share with you today. No phone calls today because we do have a lot of territory to cover. So let's start with, we've got a couple pictures to kind of show you where we're heading. We've got a front door.
Yep, you know, I can't quite do Christmas until after Thanksgiving. So in the first picture, I want to show you a house that we did, and this is kind of it's kind of a tired fall landscape.
Yes,
you know, it was
pumpkins,
pretty. The pumpkins,
the jack-o'-lantern needs to go.
I know, and the flowers and the pots have about had it. So we're gonna start with our fall decorating, and we're gonna show you in the next picture how you can transition to a beautiful winter Christmas landscape and decorations that'll last you through the season.
Gorgeous, gorgeous, and it's not difficult at all. So.
Nope.
So, before we get started, we've got a lot going on at Merryfield Garden Center this weekend and in the next coming weeks. So let's start with our seminars. Our seminars are back today, and we're starting with at our Fair Oaks location at 10 a.m. today, Christmas decorating tips. And guess who's doing that?
That would be
Renetta.
me. That would be me. Yes, I'm going to talk a little bit more in detail about different little tricks and tips for you for outside and inside decorating. Should be a lot of fun.
Should be great, and to be able to ask questions. That's what's so nice. So that's at 10 a.m. at the Fair Oaks location. At the Gainesville location, Suzanne Conway is going to be talking about how to create a festive container garden. So in the picture you just saw, there was a container garden, two container gardens there. So that gives you an idea of what she'll be talking about.
Suzanne's great. She's our perennial manager over there, and she's got some great ideas to share.
So that's at Gainesville. So our new holiday hours have begun. They started with Ladies' Night Out, and first of all, we want to thank everybody who came to Ladies' Night Out the other night. That was so much fun.
It's always fun.
I was at Gainesville for the first time. I'm usually at Fair Oaks, and it's so interesting how different everything looks at each of the stores. But it was just fun being there and getting to talk to everybody. That was so much fun.
It's always a good time.
Yeah. So starting that night, we began our holiday hours. So basically, we're open every day from 8 a.m. till 9 p.m. till we get to Christmas Eve. Now, we will be closed Thanksgiving Day, of course, and then we'll open up. When we open up on Friday morning, we will begin our holiday open house, which is an annual event at all three stores, and it will be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
And that's always a good way to kick off the season because there's the trees and the stores are just bursting with ornaments and ribbons and all kinds of gifts and things. It's a great time to go and get exactly what you want.
It is. So lots of just holiday spirit. Our holiday designers will be there creating wreaths and centerpieces, and it's just so much fun. Lot to see. Also that weekend on Saturday, November 29th, Santa arrives at all three stores, and so that is going to be a very special occasion. The hours are a little different at each store, so just go to our website, merryfieldgardencenter.com, and you will see them all. Also on Saturday, Carla Steinbach of the Steinbach Nutcracker family will be here at our Fair Oaks location from 11 to 3, and she's done this for the past couple of years, and she is just wonderful. It's so neat to have her there. She's so personable, and she takes time with everyone. If you buy a Nutcracker there, she'll be happy to sign it for you. If you have one from home, a classic collectible.
Yeah, I've got a retired one. I'm going to bring it.
Yes,
and have her sign it.
And she says it's neat because sometimes she'll see something that her father or grandfather has signed, which is neat. So that is also on Saturday just at Fair Oaks, and then on December 6th we'll have a couple more decorating classes. So one more announcement.
This is a big one.
This is a big one. We talked about this last week. The book about my dad, Bob Warhurst, is here, kind of here. We were expecting it for Ladies' Night Out. There was a little problem with the printing, with the drying actually of the ink. So nobody's fault really. It just took longer to dry because it's got this beautiful blue cover. So they should be here on Monday. The paperback edition. Let me move my fingers out of the way here. Paperback edition. We will have a hardcover edition also, and that may be in on Wednesday. It was going to be a little longer, so we're hoping that that would be here on Wednesday. So anyway, it's a fantastic story. Now, I'm a little partial, of course, but there are great stories in here, and some stories that I didn't even know about. But we brought a little video along to give you an idea of what to expect. So let's take a look.
This is the story of a man who grew up poor in the Deep South during the Great Depression, and through hard work and determination went on to achieve the American dream. This is the story of Bob Warhurst. Born in Russellville, Alabama in 1938 during the worst economic period in U.S. history, Bob grew up with no electricity, no running water, and sometimes fried frogs and squirrels for dinner. America has given birth to 1,000 rags to riches stories, thanks to the freedoms that we enjoy. Our culture and heritage have made it possible for the lowliest of our citizens to rise above the circumstances of their impoverished beginnings to attain great power and wealth. This is the American dream. Few of these stories can match the ascension of Bob Warhurst, a common man with an uncommon drive to not only make money, but to make the world a more beautiful place. If you have spent any time in Washington, D.C., or the surrounding suburbs of Virginia and Maryland, you have seen Bob's work. Merrifield Garden Center, founded by Bob and his friend Buddy Williams, is one of the largest independent garden centers in the country. The American Dream, the rags to roses story of Bob Warhurst and the founding of Merrifield Garden Center, captures the journey of a poor country boy with a heart of gold. Follow his adventures as he uses his sharp wit and country smarts to get his first job at the age of 7 to help put food on the table. Bob quit school in the 8th grade to make his way in life. He envisioned a big world out there, far beyond Alabama, a world where the challenges were harder, but the rewards sweeter. Russellville had now become far too small for the young man willing to take on the world. He moves to Northern Virginia to become an apprentice bricklayer for his brother. Bob's evolution from bricklayer to trash collector to captain of commerce was not always pretty, and the odds were stacked against him, but that is also the history of this great nation. This is an inspiring story of family and how unconditional love, dogged determination, and tireless work can overcome the absence of formal education. Join Bob on his heartwarming journey through life, and you'll learn the true meaning of the American dream. The American Dream, the rags to roses story of Bob Warhurst and the founding of Merrifield Garden Center, is available at Merrifield Garden Center's 3 Northern Virginia stores and online at merrifieldgardencenter.com.
So I hope you all will pick one up and enjoy this book as much as I do, because I mean, I've had so much fun just helping.
Well, you were there for the whole thing.
I was there for the whole thing. Right. That's right. Well, we've got lots to do today, so we're going to take a quick break and come back with you. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Renetta Holt is here with me today, and we're talking about sprucing up for the holidays, both inside and out. But we're talking about Thanksgiving, we're talking about Christmas, we're talking about
the whole season.
The whole season.
Right. And you know, I'll tell you, I'm an outside gal.
Yes, you are.
So, you know, it's hard for me to get acclimated to come in the winter.
Right.
I'm really glad it's going to be 70 on Monday.
I know.
I think it's yay. Anyway, there's a lot to do in the yard at this time. And I'm going to talk a little bit about, while you're cleaning up and taking care of your yard, what you can use to bring in and add to your holiday table. Want to start right away with the first picture of some ornamental grasses. You know, a lot of people have just sort of lump them in one group, an ornamental grass. But when you see them planted like this in groupings, you can see how very different they are. You know, their shapes are different, colors, texture, and the blooms are all different. They do need to be cut back at some point. Some people like to keep them up for the winter, for some winter interest, and other people like to cut them back now. You could also cut them back in the spring. But if you're cutting them back now, or even if you're waiting, it's a great idea to take those plumes and trim them off and bring them in, and you can use those in your holiday arrangements and just around the house. It's not quite poinsettia at a time. But you can use those ornamental grasses.
And it's something you might want to think about as you're planting. You know, think for the future. You know, we always talk about year-round gardening.
Sure.
Because you can use these. You may want a more plume type version in your landscape so that you can use them in your holiday decorating.
That's right. And if in the next picture you will see Suzanne Conway. She's the blonde. She's the one that's going to be doing the seminar in container gardening today at the Gainesville location. And Carol, and yes, it was freezing cold Sunday, but they were starting to get ready for ladies' night, starting to get some arrangements and wreaths and things together. So here they are trimming gold mop cypress and the beautiful winterberry holly in the foreground. That winterberry holly is a great thing to plant, a very resilient plant. It can take the water, it can take full sun, part shade, and it's not a holly with pokey leaves if you don't like that.
Well, you know, and it's nice that we've got the display gardens, especially, they're gorgeous out at Gainesville especially. And so they're serving two purposes. You know, they're beautiful for everyone to see and get ideas, but we also can harvest them.
We can harvest them. And speaking of harvest, we still have some gourds and some pumpkins left. We've got plenty of kale and cabbages. So if you want to, and some pansies too. So if you're kind of in a crunch about Thanksgiving, you've got people coming over, and you want to hurry up and put something together, you certainly can come to any of the garden centers and pick up some of the fall and harvest decorations that we still have.
And don't forget the Thanksgiving frog there also.
Don't forget the Thanksgiving frog. I love this picture. This is a display at our Fair Oak store, and you can see there's some hay and some berries and all kinds of some ornamental grasses and some other things there, and it just has such a warm, cozy feel. And I keep looking at this picture and thinking that if it had a scent to it, it would smell like cinnamon and apples and a fire. So there's still, like I said, come on in. There's plenty of things that you can get and use for your holiday table and your arrangements.
Great. Yeah. Okay.
You know, you spoke about evergreens and things you can plant in your yard. This is amazing. This is a display that we set up, but you've got the river birch in the background and the blue spruce. You've got Nandina and the winterberry. I mean, we can plant this in your yard, and you will have an arrangement every year after that.
Every day. Look at that.
I know. I know. It's really nice.
And look at the different colors and textures are just so beautiful there.
Well, that's really important, and it's important to any kind of a landscape to have all those the different interests and things like that.
Absolutely.
And for instance, something like the Nandina that was in that last picture, it's great because it gives you four-season interest.
Right.
They leaf out with a beautiful red leaf, then they turn kind of green in the summer. You get berries in the fall and winter, then red fall color. You can't beat it.
That's great. Absolutely. And I love the bark there. You know,
we actually have bundles of river birch logs that we're selling for decorations this year.
That's great.
Really, put a festive plaid bow on or something there. It's really cute. Now, let's say that you don't have these things in your yard, or you're not inclined to go out there and trim things up. At our Gainesville location and at our Fair Oaks location, we have fresh cut flowers, and we can make custom arrangements for any occasion. We will be starting to make kissing balls and custom arrangements that will be at the garden center for purchase, or you can order them. You can put in an order. You can even bring in your own container, and we can put something together for you for your holiday table.
Right. I was noticing, I was actually picking up some flowers last night before I left, and in the container, Tina, and Tina's at our Fair Oaks location where I am, and Marie is at our Gainesville location, and she had some small not overwhelming for the table, but just to get an idea of things, some little centerpiece, fall-looking, Thanksgiving-looking centerpieces. So I thought, oh, that'd be nice to have that around all week.
Yeah, it would be great. And then in the next picture, I had to put this in. This is something that Tina did, and I thought it was so unique. It's a live rose wreath with St. John's wort berries, little hypericum berries. And this is, we could certainly put any kind of custom thing together, but actually this inspired me. I'm having people for dinner tonight.
That's right.
And I didn't quite have enough time to put a wreath together for myself, but I did get flat roses in the same colors and some hypericum berries, and I also got a little winterberry holly as well and added it into my containers, and voila, good to go.
Beautiful. So, I mean, as we all know, Thanksgiving is coming up, and don't forget about the table. I mean, it's so nice to have these arrangements. So if you want something done up special,
just give us a call.
Give us a call. Don't hesitate. Pop by, and we will have some. Actually, will we have some kind of fresh green?
Yes.
Started already?
We will. We've got fresh greens already coming in.
So we'll probably have some of those arrangements done as well. So something to choose from. Okay, we're going to take another break, and we will be back in just a couple of minutes. It's been a beautiful fall this year. I think it's been one of the most colorful falls in a while. In several years.
It's been beautiful.
But the leaves are coming down now.
They are coming down with a vengeance. And they're gonna continue to come down because those crazy oaks don't drop all their leaves when they're supposed to all at once. So you're gonna have a couple of cleanups.
That gives you, I was gonna say, that gives you time between your rakings.
Right. So in this segment, we're going to talk a little bit about things that you can do in your yard and things that we can do for you in your yard. So in the first shot here, you see, I hate to admit it, this is my backyard, and it looks like I need Mary Field to come in. I know. I'm in everybody else's yard. I don't get in mine very often.
Shoemaker's son doesn't have shoes.
That's right. But this is the beginning of a good long season of leaf dropping. But it's pretty. Also, just simply to mention, the fall color on the right side of the picture is witch hazel with vibrant gold color. I've still got some evergreen in there, and the plant to the left is a Fothergilla, which is yellow now, but you can just see it starting to turn a little bit more orange. So they're transitioning as well. So I think I'll probably do a cleanup soon here, and then probably again closer to Christmas do another one.
I always enjoy raking leaves.
Wow, do you want to come over?
I really do. I don't know
Plenty to do. One thing that you can do, in the next picture, we can look at a lawn. Now this is my front yard. In contrast, you can see that I keep up, try to keep up with the Joneses a little bit better in the front. But I don't want to call myself a lazy gardener, but I try to be a practical gardener. And when I'm out there doing things, I try to do as many things at one time as I can. So if you're out, maybe adding some mulch for the fall after you've done your leaf cleanup, maybe trimming your evergreens a little bit to, bring in a few boxwood sprigs or evergreens or something for your arrangements. Now's a great time to give your lawn one last fertilization.
Yes.
And your evergreens has to be a slow release fertilizer though. And I like to, the way I have people remember it is, I tell them you want to give your plants a little bedtime snack before they go to sleep for the winter, because they're getting ready to go dormant, and they can use that, then they'll be raring to go in the spring.
And of course, you can always come in to any of the locations to the plant clinic if you need recommendations on amounts to use, type of products to use,
or how frequent to use them.
Right.
And then I want to talk about the fact that just because we're kind of setting our sights to the holidays and decorating the house, doesn't mean that we're not landscaping.
Right.
We are landscaping in full force, and I want to talk about some little projects you might want to tackle in your yard, and why you might just want to call Merrifield Garden Center and Merrifield's superheroes.
I'm not doing that.
This is a customer of mine. It was not a very difficult job. There is a plum tree there that you see Orlando with, and plum trees traditionally don't have a great root system. It was half dead. The customer wanted it out of the front yard, and we were simply going to, and I say we, that's such an insult to the guys, because I don't do any of it. I dream it up, and they have to do it.
You were supervising, right?
Yes, I suppose. But they were simply going to pop it out of the ground, and then we were going to transplant another tree in its place. But as you can see, after much heaving and hoeing, there was a little bit bigger root system to take out. Then this is a crepe myrtle in the same yard that I had planted 4 years ago, and it was planted fairly close to the house, but it was supposed to be a dwarf. But they took very good care of it, and the tree loved it there. And so the idea was to transplant this crepe myrtle in the place where the plum came out. And again, if you were to try to do this yourself, look at the size of that root ball, and that is a beautiful root ball that the guys got. And boy, it was cold. That was Tuesday, and they worked up a sweat even at that, getting that root ball out.
Right.
And then you can see in the next shot them getting it into the hole that the plum came out of. And the reason I like to show these pictures is, a lot of times we think that we're strong enough and we can do it ourselves, but you know what? Sometimes you need a little extra muscle, and we've got it.
And we can, depending on the weather, we can plant all winter long.
We can plant all winter long, that's right. Even if the ground is frozen, it tends not to freeze, but an inch or two here, so we can still plant, and then still do a cleanup for you, perhaps, if you need it before Christmas.
I like that idea of having somebody come and clean up.
Yeah, nice coat of mulch, get it all pretty. And again, if you don't have things in your yard that you can trim, you can see in the next shot that we are starting to get our fresh greens and our berries in. It used to be, I've been with Merrifield for 12 years. When I first started with Merrifield, we just had the traditional spruces and firs and boxwoods and things. But now we're bringing in some really unusual variegated akuba, gold mop cypress, juniper, different color berries and things, so you can really get colorful things. In the next shot, you can see an impromptu container. What I love about this was at a job that we did. All our greens are treated with wilt proof, which will help seal in the moisture so that they'll last longer. And nothing in this pot is actually planted in the dirt. This was just handfuls of stuff that we gathered, and we literally in 5 minutes stuffed it in these pots.
Gorgeous.
And if the weather stays cool enough, it'll get you through the whole season.
That is beautiful. And as you said, so simple.
So simple and easy to do. And I know Peggy will be talking about it in more detail next week, but you can see that in the next picture that we do custom wreaths at our Merrifield locations. So you can buy a custom wreath, or you can even, again, put it in order for what you particularly want in a wreath, and we'll do it up for you. And in the last shot, you can see a finished product of one of our custom wreaths. And again, how colorful and beautiful that is.
Oh, I know.
I hate to admit that they last so well that one year I took the Christmas ribbon out of it, and it stayed pretty cool. I had it until March.
Did you really?
I did. My neighbors were probably, when are you going to get that sorry thing off her door? But I loved it, and it stayed looking great.
I know. And there's so many choices. As you at Fair Oaks, I know we're out in the annual house. This whole wall full of just various different types and different shapes. You don't have to have a traditional wreath.
No, you could have a swag or we even make
cane.
there's even ones that we can make and put over your mailbox, which are really neat. So as long as you can pretty much dream it up,
we'll take care of it for you.
We'll take care of it for you.
All right, we've got to take another break. We will be right back. Harvest look. Can't wait till Thanksgiving Day.
Harvest look, that's right.
Beautiful. Well, the holidays after we get through Thanksgiving, the holidays are here.
Yeah, we're gonna go inside on the next
segment. We're
segment.
gonna go inside. We're gonna see what we've got. Kind of give you an idea of our Christmas shops.
Yeah, I took a couple pictures at our Gainesville store last Sunday, and this is our Williamsburg theme. I just love the colors in that, and I wanted to show these because we have, you know, from soup to nuts in terms of what we can do for Christmas for you. I mean, Williamsburg is very traditional. We have some very, very glitzy themes, you know, very sparkly and shimmery. We've got some whimsical ones, and in the next shot, we've got some rustic ones.
There's rustic for you.
Do you know, I was by the bow table on Sunday, and that moose head got more attention.
I'll bet it did.
I think you need a moose head for your tree.
I do. Yes, we really do in our house.
I think Rob would like one.
He would really like one. But that's the lodge theme. That's
the
very
lodge
neat.
theme.
But there's, I think, well, we're going to show you a video in the next segment, give you a little idea of some more of the Christmas. But I think there's probably 18 or so themes, but more or less at each store, because you can kind of vary the themes a little bit.
Right, and mix and match a little bit.
And every store, I was amazed at when I was at Gainesville the other day for Ladies' Night, how the same themes, but how different everything looks.
Well, and we have different designers at the stores, and so they kind of put their own personal take on it.
Exactly.
So it's, you know, you might go
so you have to go to all
three. Great minds think alike. Let's talk about artificial trees a little bit. There are many, many different kinds of artificial trees, as you can see in the shot that I took over at our Gainesville store a couple weeks ago. There are traditional green ones. There's some white ones that are kind of have a flocked look, kind of a snowy look. But one thing that we are seeing a lot more of, which is great, are slimline trees.
Yes.
That don't take up a lot of a lot of
space.
And are a different shape. We do have really broad trees. We've got the thin ones, and in sizes from, you know, tabletop, you know, 2 or 3 feet, all the way up, pretty much as large as you would like to go. Right. But I also want to talk about the difference in how these trees are made and the different kind of looks you can get with them. And in the next slide, you'll see the typical traditional needle of an artificial tree, and this is a PVC product.
Okay.
And so you can see that it's a very fluffy, fuzzy look, and a lot of trees are still made with that. They tend to look up a little bit fuller. But this is a typical tree that you see, although they do come in different colors. And now they're putting a little bit of sparkle and glitz in there. So if you want, you know, so this one has a little bit of tinsely-like woven in.
Right. And of course, a great advantage is that they're pre-lit.
They're pre-lit,
and you don't have to put all those lights on.
Nope, and you can either get incandescent lights or now LED, which is a little bit longer lived. The people didn't like the LEDs when they first came out because they kind of had a blue cast to them, but they've changed, they've warmed them up, and they're really nice.
They really are.
And I want to show the difference between some of the different kinds of needles in that. This is an artificial wreath that we have, but this is right here, if you look at some of these fluffier things, this is the PVC that I mentioned in the last slide. But there are also these other little needly and leafy looking pieces, and these are polyethylene.
Okay.
And they're actually molded from actual tree branches.
Oh, that's great.
And the trunks of the trees. So it gives you a much more realistic look. And some of the trees are just the molded, some of them are the PVC, and some of them are a combination of the two to give you the interior fluff and fullness, but with the more natural look on the outside.
Right. And they're beautiful. Now, you can have a fresh wreath or you can have an artificial wreath. And some you can take outside and some you can't.
Right. Right, and we can, if you come in, we can show you more easily than we can talk about it, the difference in the wreaths in which you can have in and which you can have out.
Right.
A lot of people want to buy live trees and bring them in for the season and then plant them outside.
Which is a wonderful tradition.
Right, and you can see, again, I took a lot of shots at our Gainesville location last week because we often tend to show Merrifield or Fair Oaks a little bit more.
Right.
But we have a great variety of live trees.
Balled and burlap.
Yep. balled and burlap. We have Alberta spruces, and we have Norway spruces and blue spruces. And if you want to bring them in, the trick is acclimating them. You can't just bring in a tree that's been living outside inside right away, because it's going to either go, dadgummit, I am hot,
Yep.
or it's going to say,
especially if you go from 20 degrees to
or it's going to say, oh, it's spring, I need to grow. So what you need to do is acclimate it, bring it into your garage for several days, and then bring it into the house for as short of a time as possible.
Absolutely.
Then when you're finished with it, get it back outside again into your garage, and then you can plant it.
So acclimate in, acclimate out.
Exactly.
Okay.
That'll give you a better chance of survival, so the plant doesn't get itself all confused. And if we're getting cut trees
have arrived already. Yes, we got a first shipment in. We will get them. Actually, we will get them all throughout the next month, because we like to have them as fresh as possible.
Yep. And when I say we get tons of them, we get tons of them.
We definitely get tons.
All different varieties, and we can help you pick the right tree for you. David Yost, I think, is going to be talking about the different trees a little bit.
He and Mike
more
will be on in a couple weeks and talk about that.
Yep. And then the other thing that I like to talk, isn't that a pretty picture?
Yes, it's gorgeous.
I love the look of the trees with the snow on it. And there's a service that we provide at Merrifield called flocking, where we take this white flocking and we spray it on your cut tree. And it's kind of a blast from the past. When I was a kid, we always had flock trees. And I
sure, it looked quite a bit different.
Well, yeah, I didn't like them, but now I like them because it reminds me of when I was growing up. But we can flock them very heavily, or we can just flock them very lightly, but we can get this look for you. And the benefit is it kind of seals the moisture in, and you don't have to water.
Oh, that's great.
And also,
you don't have to water as much.
As much.
Yeah. Okay.
As much. I'm sorry. And we also have a wide variety of ribbons this year, and the Merrifield bow, which we can teach you how to make, or we can do it for you.
We will be making lots and lots of bows this season.
That's right. Got my fingers ready.
That's right, me too. Well, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to actually take you into the store and give you a little tour. Welcome back. Well, we were out at our Fair Oaks location the other day, and we were doing some filming, and we thought, what a great idea to actually take a little tour of the Christmas shop to give you some idea of some of the themes. Now, we could only do a few, and there's so many, but I was with Karen Velahosky, and she was showing us around. She's one of our very talented designers, holiday designers, and part of the big team that puts this all together. So let's take a look at the video. Here at Merrifield Garden Center, we're getting ready for the holidays. So we thought we'd come out this morning and show you just a little bit of the beauty of the season. So I've asked Karen to be with us here this morning. Good morning, Karen.
Good morning.
Karen is one of our holiday elves, well, creative holiday designers, who are part of the team, actually, that puts this all together every year.
Yes.
How do you get started every year?
Oh, well, we get started in January.
Wow.
A whole year in advance. So we go ahead and select different themes and start purchasing.
Great. Now, how many themes do we have this year?
Well, approximately 18.
Wow.
You know, it's going to differ at each store just a little bit, which makes it fun to visit each store.
That's great. So right now we are in Crystal City.
We do like to call this Crystal City. Kind of helps us organize our thoughts throughout the season. This particular tree has lots of sparkle, glass, silvers, soft muted golds, gorgeous ribbon.
Beautiful.
Turned out beautiful.
Really
Really
did.
nice, kind of elegant feel.
Absolutely. And lots of gorgeous angels and accessories as well.
Angels are beautiful this
They
year.
really are, as always. Now, this candle, I've got to show this candle because
Yes.
this is very cool.
This candle is a real flame effect taper. Battery operated, very safe, brand new to us this fall. So
Great.
we're really, really excited.
That's great. It comes in a set of two.
Comes in a set of two. We're offering all different shapes of pillars and colors from the same
That's
company
great.
as well.
So very safe, very beautiful.
Yes, and gorgeous.
Okay. Let's take a look at another theme.
Let's take a look.
Okay. Okay, let's go over to Winter Chic. This is beautiful.
It's a beautiful tree, Debbie.
It really is. It's kind of a sister tree to Crystal City.
It is, exactly, with a twist.
That's great.
We've added purple. So we like to have a little bit something for everybody. So the purple is a very popular tree, actually.
Oh, it is. Now, I've got to show these beautiful ornaments because are these new this year?
Brand new.
Great.
We're very excited about this collection. It is a European production, so they're made in Poland.
Oh,
they
great.
are hand-blown ornaments. Different sheens. We have shiny and matte. 2 sizes in each color, reds and golds and silvers, and I believe they're calling this one Fig.
That's great. Just beautiful. Okay, let's see what else we've got.
Let's go.
So Karen, we're in the Williamsburg theme here, right?
That is correct.
It's beautiful. Very
It is
traditional.
Very traditional. Feels like Virginia.
Yes.
On the tree, you'll see magnolias,
Oh, yes.
boxwood, berries.
Dogwood.
Dogwood. So it's
gorgeous.
just about anything you'd find in a Virginia garden as well, which
Absolutely.
is a lot of fun.
And of course the traditional blues. of
Traditional
Williamsburg
blues,
are just
yes.
beautiful. Okay, and so lots to choose from here. And speaking of blues, these gorgeous dishes, I love this touch.
Yes, and this might be something somebody already has in their home, which you can really dress up in your typical Williamsburg feel, which is nice.
Now also, at least here in the Fair Oaks store, in this area is where we have the wonderful fragrances of Christmas.
Yes. Fraser Fir Times. We believe that this is probably the best selling and the best scent to duplicate
Right.
a tree scent. A lot of people have
really
artificial trees. You know, the branches are strong, they hold your collectibles really well. But if you really want it to smell like a tree is in your home, this is what you need.
That's great. That's great. Okay, and then one other thing that we have, again, in this department or in this area at the Fair Oaks store
Yes.
is our White House ornaments.
Oh yes, very popular.
And we have the White House ornaments at all 3 stores. So, well, Karen, we have just touched the surface, really.
Yes, just scratch the surface. We really try to have something for everyone.
Absolutely. So we hope you'll come by and discover the beauty of the holiday season.
Yes.
You know, I was again out at Gainesville and seeing those same themes there. You know, Gainesville is so tall. You know, the ceilings are so tall, so it's a totally
organized
different look.
differently, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we've got another section to show you, so let's take a look at this. Robin Hood.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
It's fun.
Well, we are here in our German glass area of our Fair Oaks store, and it is filled with all kinds of gorgeous decorations and holiday decorating ideas, including beautiful nutcrackers.
Oh, yes.
And, of course, German glass. Now, we've been carrying German glass for a long time.
We have. In particular, this collection, the Old World Christmas, has been around forever. And it's really fun to come in and add a piece or two. You can find just about anything for your family or friends that reminds them of somebody. There's a peach, a cheeseburger,
French fries.
French fries, I would love that. You can also find a travel ornament, you know, on this tree, Leaning Tower of Pisa,
little
to
bit of
remind you
everything.
of your vacation that year.
That's wonderful. And as we mentioned, the Steinbach nutcrackers, well, we actually have a wide assortment of nutcrackers.
We do,
But we're
from
featuring
all different
Steinbach.
companies.
And Carla Steinbach is coming.
She is. I'm very excited to see her again. She's been here quite a few times, and it's fun to come in and pick out a new one for your collection.
Right.
But a lot of people bring in one that they've had in their family for a while to get Carla to sign. You know, she will sign the bottom, and what she finds is, you know, previous generations have signed from the Steinbach
Oh, wow.
family.
That's
So
wonderful.
she's really tickled when she gets to see the ones that her parents have signed.
Absolutely. And she will be here the Saturday of Thanksgiving weekend during our holiday open house.
Yes.
And she's happy to sign whatever you purchase, or if you're bringing something from home that you've collected.
Correct. And what's really fun is you actually get your picture taken with her.
Yes.
And when she's done with her tour and she's gone back to Germany, she mails you that information.
That's great. Well, we hope you'll come by and take advantage of all the gorgeous things we have here at Merrifield Garden Center, including nutcrackers and German glass. Well, that just gives you a hint, because there's so many more themes out there.
Well, I'm glad you did the video, because we were trying to take some still shots. It gets a little bit difficult to do that.
It does, because there's so much there.
There's so much there, and it just you just can't get far enough away to get a good picture.
Right.
But I also just wanted to mention really quickly, in with the themes, something that has been a hot seller for a couple of years now has been the burlap natural look.
Isn't that
And
amazing?
I wanted to show this ribbon.
It's
It's really
a little of both.
Yes, it's like natural, but then they glitzed it up a little bit.
This is great.
So we also have lots of ribbons that you can use indoors and out. And we can tell you which ones to use where.
That's right. When we come back, we have a great gift idea for you. So
It's a survival kit.
It's a survival kit. So we'll be right back. Now, Renetta has something very unique to show us. It's great for your yard work.
Yes.
It's great for your decorating.
Yes.
It's a great gift.
Yes.
It's wonderful.
am so excited about this. I call this my holiday survival kit. Okay.
I'm
It's
all
got
for that.
All kinds of little things
Goodies.
in there to help. Yeah. I dressed it up with a bow. This would, you could put something like this and customize it for someone for a great Christmas gift. So it's things that you can use indoor and out. Pruners. Okay. Let me move this out of the way. We carry different kinds of pruners at Merrifield. These are my special left-handed Felcos. They're great pruners, and so this is something that certainly you can use outside, or when you come in and maybe need to trim a little bottom thing off your Christmas tree or something like that. So this is for more of the heavy-duty use.
Even if you're not into gardening, it's great to have a pair of pruners around.
Yeah.
It really is. You never know when you're going to need to make a little snip here or there.
Then, speaking of snips, cheap scissors. Not good scissors, they come next. Cheap scissors, because a lot of the ribbon is wired, which gives it, a nice full look that holds, but you will wreck a pair of scissors with it.
Yes.
So don't get expensive ones for this. These are like the disposable Christmas, I cut my ribbon with it.
You can never have too many pairs of those.
Right. So cheap scissors. Okay. Then
now the good scissors. Is that what you're going?
Where are my good scissors?
There you go.
Here. Okay. These are called Joyce Chen's.
You've heard of those, Joyce Chen scissors?
Yes.
Where's Peggy?
Where's Peggy? I believe they were developed for bonsai.
They probably were.
And so they're good for you could do some damage with this, so be very careful with them. But they're very, very sharp, but they're great scissors for just the smaller everything. Yeah.
But I mean, you can cut chickens up with them. You can do anything.
That's right. So these are your expensive scissors that you don't cut ribbon with.
Right.
And you don't let your kids get a hold of either.
Okay. And they're great gifts.
Right.
By themselves.
Then we have these wrapped wires at Merrifield, and believe it or not, our employees, when they're in the middle of everything else that they have to do,
answering the phones,
they take florist wire and they wrap it around this wire. And what's great about it is it's a little bit sticky and it's a little bit padded. And so it grips really well when you're making your bow. You can use it and it doesn't slip out of your fingers or anything like that.
When we're making the bows, we're holding it in one hand, and then when you go to tie it off, if you don't have the wrapping on there, you can't do it.
Right. It's difficult. And we have them in different colors, green, white, and brown. And the other thing they're good for is if you're tying garland to your banisters. It's really good. Again, it grips and it won't scratch your wood.
And you can get the color that you need, so you can get brown if you're doing it on a wood banister.
So then to go with these, if I can wrestle them out of my little goodie bag here, I've got some wire snips. I should have put them in the other way. See, I labeled them so
they won't get gone.
RH, so that no one will snitch them from me. But they're really good, for this, just quick little snip. You can also use them to trim little branches and things like that.
Right.
So these are a great thing to put in the arsenal. Now,
She's got all kinds of things in this survival kit.
This is the most important thing.
She loves this.
I love this. This is like CPR for your light strands that don't work anymore. Okay, it's this cool little gun.
Let me hold that for you while you're talking about it.
Okay.
They can see what it looks like there.
All right. Yeah, because I tend to move around too much. But it does a lot of different things. When one light goes out, typically a whole strand of lights go out. So this little thing right here, you can use that to pry the bulbs out. And if a bulb is burned out, you can stick it in this little hole right here and pull the trigger, and it shocks the bulb and it will fuse it back together again, so it'll work. Okay,
that's great.
If one of your fuses goes out, you can test it in this little slot up here. Okay, then if you're still having a problem and it's not one of those things, this little hole on the end here, you can take your bulb out, stick that in the receptacle, shock it, there's your CPR, and quite often it'll light the whole tree back up again.
This is called the Lightkeeper Pro.
Yes.
And we've had these for a few years.
We've had them for a few years. They're fantastic.
Okay, we've got a couple minutes left. So let's
Okay,
do
a couple
this.
minutes left. Cable ties. I imagine most husbands have these. These are really good. If you're outside, I love them for if you have vines or things on a trellis. You can just use them to get on there and then snip them off very easily. Wilt proof. This is what we have our greens in, that are
soaked in.
Soaked in.
That is great, and it's so nice that it comes in a little little spray bottle. It makes it nice and easy. You know, or you can put wilt proof in a tub and soak them
dip it.
and dip them.
Right,
which is great.
Also, a couple of things. Gloves are great. I have the psychedelic.
There we go.
70s flashback gloves. And these are great. Even when you're doing inside decorating, sometimes when you fluff the artificial trees, it dries your hands out. And then one of my little
this is a great idea. I would never have thought
I
about
stole this idea from somebody, but save your I fished this out of the trash because my husband threw it away. Your paper towel tubes, and you can wrap your extension cords around it or your lights, and they're not all tangledy, mangledy up for next year.
That is a great idea.
So,
anything else in there? Besides the bag itself.
The bag
itself is gorgeous.
And then you can just dress it up with a little bow, and we have a nice.
Oh, that's great.
Nice gift for you.
Wonderful ideas. Thank you so much for being here. Now, Renetta is going to. First of all, you come out on Sundays to the Gainesville store.
Gainesville store.
And you can talk landscaping, you can talk decorating.
Talk whatever you want. The colder it gets, the more I want to talk about landscaping.
She's going back to Fair Oaks right now for the seminars, so be sure to visit the seminars, come to our open house next weekend, and we hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Next week, Peggy will be here. We'll be talking about inviting entryways to get you into the holidays.
All right.
So happy Thanksgiving, everybody.